nothing better than the Stanley Cup playoffs.
You dream of this moment for the chance at a cup. It comes to Verhaeghe. Turn, shoot, scores!
The Panthers have shocked the world!
Score! Eichel the playmaker! Cousins, waits, drags, shoots, scores! Game winner! Series clincher!
Rebound goal! Vegas wins in overtime!
Coming back out in front with it is Tkachuk. He scores! The Florida Panthers are heading to the Stanley Cup Final.
Congratulations to the Vegas Golden Knights. This is awesome, but you got 4 more wins to go.
Frankie Corrado's back. Frankie, I've had a lot of people come up to me lately and say, what's with the Stanley Cup playoffs this year? What's happening? It's like chaos. People feel it's chaos. But for the Golden Knights, it's their second Stanley Cup final appearance in just 6 years in the league. They're just the third team to pull that off in nearly a century. So if they're going to actually win this thing, how are they going to do it?
Well, you know, I was a defenseman, so naturally we're going to talk about the decor for the Vegas Golden Knights. I love their decor, and they have 2 Norris-caliber defensemen on that decor, and Shea Theodore and Alex Pietrangelo. They happen to play on different pairs, which is very advantageous to have 2 pairs with a player like that. But the way they're built, big, mobile, they can move the puck, and there's a little nastiness on that decor. And when you look at the size of all these guys, the shortest player is 6'1". That's Alec Martinez. He's well over 200 pounds. And they will have a job cut out for them because Matthew Tkachuk, Sam Bennett, these are guys, they're going to be running around. They're going to be playing in the paint. They're going to do everything they possibly can. But we've seen how the Vegas decor has been able to respond to star players throughout the course of this playoffs. More notably, Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, 2 players that we thought were unstoppable. Vegas did a really good job as a team, as committee, but that decor was largely responsible for keeping those guys at bay. They just did the same thing to the Dallas Stars for the most part, and now they're in the Stanley Cup Finals. It's going to be a big reason if the Vegas Golden Knights are going to win the Stanley Cup, that decor is going to have to do a job to keep everyone off of Adin Hill.
And you mentioned Martinez. I think of Martinez, even if he's the smallest guy, he's a guy with actual Stanley Cup winning experience, right, with the Kings. So, yeah, he knows what to do. Sergei Bobrovsky, Matthew Tkachuk, kind of neck and neck for the Conn Smythe if you listen to basically everyone on the planet. But who do you think will actually play the biggest role in this Cup final?
For me, it's Sergei Bobrovsky. Matthew Tkachuk has been unbelievable. The moments he's had, the clutch goals, the overtime heroics, all that kind of stuff. But for me, that doesn't happen unless Sergei Bobrovsky has done what he's done throughout the course of these playoffs. And we've talked about it a bunch, but you go back to Game 5 against the Boston Bruins. In the dying seconds of that game, Brad Marchand has a breakaway. Sergei Bobrovsky makes that save. And if he doesn't, it's over for the Florida Panthers. And all he's done has play quality hockey and give this Florida team not only a chance to win, but has single-handedly won them games. You go back to that Toronto series, and he's letting in 2 goals or less a game that entire series. I know the Carolina Hurricanes are not the most offensively potent team, but he did an incredible job in that series. He made a number of acrobatic saves and, desperation saves. He's been incredible, and Sergei Bobrovsky's game has allowed Matthew Tkachuk to have those moments, because if Sergei Bobrovsky is not making those saves, they're not in the predicament where Matthew Tkachuk can score those big game-winning goals.
It's so funny because I know you've played with a lot of different goalies, and they're all different personalities, and we always talk about goalie personalities, and some can be really fiery, the Hextall disciples, if you will. Bobrovsky seems like his heart rate is like 4 beats per minute, no matter how great he's playing or how bad he's playing.
That's what you'd like to see in a goaltender. For me as a defenseman, I look back there, I'm like, man, that guy looks nervous. And I'm nervous too. We can't both be nervous. One of us needs to be calm back there. So it's a very reassuring, confident feeling for the players in front of him.
Okay, so we know it's going to be a first-time Stanley Cup winner, Florida and Las Vegas. They've never won the Cup before. And we know it's early. We're not there yet, but who do you like hosting the Stanley Cup this year?
Well, you're putting me on the spot.
I know, I have to do it.
These teams don't play a lot either, so it's hard to get a read on, on who's the better team.
And even when they did play in the regular season, it's like these are completely different teams now,
Totally. The Vegas Golden Knights in 6, maybe 7 games. I expect this to be a tight series for a number of reasons. We talk about Vegas's depth. Well, Florida has depth up front too. They can go punch for punch with the Vegas Golden Knights. But the fact that for Vegas, their 4th line can go out in a game, in a critical game, and be the best line on the ice, and you say, that's why they won the game. Like, not many teams can say that. Like, usually if your fourth line is your best line, you're thinking, yeah, we lost that game because our star players weren't our star players. And then we've talked about the back end and how important that's going to be for Vegas and, you know, them keeping Tkachuk and Sam Bennett and Alex Barkov off of Adin Hill. Like, it just seems like they're a very complete team. They're a structured team. They're very well coached, and they play the same game over and over again, eventually until you crack. And at some point, the Florida Panthers, who are going to have a 10-day layoff between series, it seems like it would be a good or finally an opportunity for them to crack, and the Vegas Golden Knights win the series in 6 or 7 games, or I could be completely wrong.
It's all, well, that's why they play the games. Exactly. And Vegas's owner once said this team will win a cup within the first 6 years in the league. You got a chance, but they got to win it this year. Thanks, Frankie.